Welcome to Wednesday Theatre, where I dedicate my Wednesdays to reviewing theatre production, talking about everything theatre. As you know, I really have an in-depth knowledge on theatre. In fact, my background is theatre. So today we're talking about The Legend of Aku Sika. It showed on the 1st of June and the 2nd of June, and it is showing this weekend as well. And I saw the first show. I saw the second half of the first show and I saw the full show of the second show. So I'm basically going to review it, let you know what was what, if it is worth your money and worth your time. First off, this play, there's a bit of controversy. That when I was in school, I know it was Professor Martin Owusu as to whether he wrote the original piece or it was Ben Abdullah, but there's a bit of confusion there. But I know it was done to honor Professor Martin Owusu, who was present at the event, and he was quite excited about the work that has been done with this. The play was directed by Naa Ashorkor. This is her debut directorial piece that she did, and then she did it in partnership with George Quay, which is Image Bureau. So Naa Ashorkor is April Communication and George Quay is Image Bureau, and together I think they did something beautiful. So The Legend of Aku Sika is a fictional story about a young lady who has seen a lot of misfortunes when she lost her mother when she was growing up, and then her hunter father was taking care of her, and a trap that her daddy has said she put her hand in as a child, and then her hand was cut. So it's like she's been living after one misfortune after the other. The father died pure out of pain and grief for the wife, and the child losing the arms, and he also died. So the child was in care of the grandmother, a blind grandmother who was taking care of her. And finally, by the end of the play, she had won the eye of the king of the land. And of course, there was a lot of friction because people claim that a deformed person cannot be married to the king of the land, and you know that kind of drama that comes with it. So basically, she ends up with a golden arm that that's praise the Lord and shame the enemy. So that was basically the story. If you want to see it in entirety, I think you should see this weekend one. I think you will like it. So I'm going to make my reviews of theater very simple. I'm going to do it touch base bit by bit, and I'm going to grade it as I go, so that when I'm done, I just put the grade down for you to see. So now that you know the synopsis and who directed and who did what, let's start with the set. First off, I think the set was incredible. It was well done, and I wasn't surprised that the people that were behind, especially the palace set was elaborate. Like when you see it, you can see that this is royalty. I liked it. I also liked the forest or the waterfall scene where Aku Sika went to get her hand fixed. It was a beautiful setup for the forest and a beautiful setup for the palace, and I think those were the two major sets that they did in this particular production. And I think there was this palm wine set, and there's this small hut for Aku Sika's home. But basically, it was the setting up like a set that they built properly. It was the waterfall, which was incredible. Like you see water flowing on. I'll put it there. You see water flowing on set, and it was crazy. It was such a crazy thing. It was like, whoa, no, George Quay, they do that thing, and you will see the sets. I think the palace set that we've seen in The Gods Are Not to Blame, and now this. So yeah, but I think the wow factor of the set was the waterfall and the forest scene. And I think I've grouped everything into 10 categories, and each one carries a mark. 1 mark if it's good, if it's very good. 1 mark if it's okay, it's half the mark. If it's not, it's 0. So I think per what I saw with the set, I think this is what I'm going to grade it. I'm going to give it a full mark. So yeah, the set goes for 1 for me. So let me put it by, so that when I'm done, we'll just put it all together there. The set gets a 1 for me. Now let's talk about the costume. So after you the curtain raises and you see the sets, the next thing you usually see is the costume of the characters. And I must say, the costumes were on point. The costume designer, big shout out to you. The costume work was on point. The royalty, how the royalty was dressed in the first scene, after in the scene where they were coming to install the king, the black, it was such a beautiful thing. The abrafor in that scene, their outfit, the black with the black painting on their face. I mean, I'm thinking about costume and makeup here. It was such a beautiful thing. Like told me so. I'm sorry about Tom. So they are black, they are bravo, the dancers, the king, the royalty, their makeup in that, and stealing the king. It was such a beautiful thing. Like, it was a sight to behold. I'm telling you, like, you should experience it. Their outfit, the way they were moving, and then when they were having the royal deba where the king, the final scene, the lady refused her hand. That's the outfit of the people as well as the king. When the chief, he was in the palanquin, and then the apakai, and everything. Like, it was such a colorful and a bright thing that you would only see at big festivals in Ghana, like the Aku Sika and the Abuaches. Like, it's not something you see on a regular day. I have seen productions before. I've seen them doing a deba, but this royal deba was royalty because of the different textures and colors on stage, and that was quite beautiful. And another group that I really liked their costume and their makeup was the narrators. So that was, I saw Gada there, I saw Andrew Tando, and one group, a man and a woman here, and a woman there. The way they were wearing that, is it coffee coffee brown material, and then there was one that was white material, and the makeup, their hair, the white paint on their face. It was beautiful. And the way they went about with their dance and their movement, it was so beautiful. I must say, like, let me write this thing down before I forget. The way they moved in there with the colors of their outfits, the design of their outfit, the flow, it was so good. It was so good. Like, when I'm excited, you see that on my face. It was so good. And then we went to the heaven scene where the and Point, the angels were there. They took their outfits, the white with the wings, the costume designer, the costume. If I could go above 1 point, I think I'll give it to the costume department. The costume designer did an excellent job. And then when we come to the regular everybody scene, the palm wine tappers, the sub chiefs, the Arnold and Co, their dressing too was quite on point. And there was a part where Arnold got injured. I saw in the second show that they managed to use something to cover it, but I think previous times they just allowed it to show. But the second show, they found a very nice way to cover it. I think it was dope. I liked it. I really liked him. And then there was as I said, the chiefs, the Abrafor outfit. Even the second time they came, where they were supposed to take the first wife of the king to go and execute her, the outfit of the Abrafor was crazy. The energy they come out, Jesus, like, you should see them play. Like, just go for the costume, stay for the drama. Like, literally what I can say. The costume department, they did excellent. The Deba scene, the costume at the Deba scene, the dancers, the people at the top playing the sound, the what we call Aku Sika's outfit, the grandmother, the narrator's outfit, the spirit world, the dwarfs, the outfit. Oh Jesus, like, let me just move on, because if I don't, I think I'll get stuck at the outfit. And to me, it was a full one. It's a full score. It's a full score. In fact, if there's anything I could add to the score, I would just add it. The costume too scored a full 1 for me, and the lights. So the lighting system too was good, but I think where I had a little challenge with the light was when they set up the palm wine scene. So when they set up the palm wine scene, Aku and then the queen's sister and the Ochame, the king's sister and the Ochame, they were still on stage. So I was thinking, at the time, they will use a spotlight to spotlight Aku and the king's sister. Why do I say the queen? The king's sister and then the Ochame when they were there, so that there's a dim on the palm wine scene over there. There will be a dim, so that once everything is done here, there will be an instant switch to that. But I think we didn't see much of that, so they had to do a bit of silence and freezing there, but we could still see them on stage, which to me took something a little out of it. But generally the lighting was good. It was good, but that thing was too obvious, and I was like, oh, there could have been a lot that could have been done to save the situation. So I think the lighting, I would give it a solid half. I would give it a half. That part really took it away from me. I really didn't like it as much. The sound effect too was great. I like the way the sound was, But at some point, the sound sort of swallowed the conversation. I think that was the second show where the palm wine, yes, the palm wine scene once again. The sound swallowed the conversation, so the sound was almost at par with the voices of the actors. So at some point, I was struggling to hear exactly what was going on. However, the sound of the production, the drums, this, oh Jesus, that was well done. The National Orchestra, their music at the back, it was beautifully done. The violinist that came on stage with the spirit God when Aku was at her lowest point was such a beautiful addition to the show. Gave it mood, sound. It gives mood. It builds the ambience of the space. And Jesus, I don't. I think I'm too excited for this particular production, but I think the sound level that's telling the voices. So I'm going to give it a solid half. I'm going to give it a solid half. So we have our second half, and then we'll move to. So let me just mark it so that when we have our solid half, and then the special effect. I think this particular play, the special effects was effecting. Like the special effects was special effecting. I must say there was this beautiful hand that they did for Aku Sika, but that one too, there was a little glitch. Like I don't know, but you could see said I don't know if it was a glove they put on or whatever they put on her hand. You could see there was a little bit of amwamwa kakra. Well, the first show, amwamwa kakra on the wrist when she raised her hand and her hand and all, and then there was this whole box from the heavens that came to cover Aku Sika at the time of transition. I was wondering how they were going to do the snake scene, but there was actually a snake scene, and then the snake entered the box with a guy, and then Aku Sika came out. In fact, I saw other videos of the second show where they were lighting when the snake god went on top of the box, where there was light and there was flames and fire. It was crazy. The special effects for this production was so crazy. The dwarfs, how they came in, and then this particular production had some form of acting, movie touch in it. So the part where the flashback of what actually happened to Aku Sika, how she lost her arms, the story of her father and all of that, there was actually a projected screen of a movie that was shot of the hunter, his life, how the toddler. That was an interesting, unexpected touch to the production that I really liked. I enjoyed the black and white thing. The hunter, Mr. Carl, I see you. Mr. Carl was looking dope in there, like, yo, hey, Charlie, nah, ra. Production, I want for to me, yo, I want to me, yeah. And then, so that was a solid one. For me, the special effect department was brazy. It was brazy. I liked it. I really liked it. And then now let me talk about the audience excitement. So during the first production, the first showing, which was the 1st June, the first showing, the 4 p.m. one, I went to meet the final one. I think the audience were quite excited at the second show, because when the guy that the gossip, when he was passing through the crowd like this, the way the audience they were hooting at him. The second show, they were very quiet. When the Abraforce, they were coming, the excitement around the Abraforce passing through the crowd, coming, it added something, especially when the audience went along with it. I really liked it, but the audience excitement for the second show was quite down, and for that, I'll give it a solid half, one good half for the first, and one bad half for the audience excitement for the second half. Now let's talk about the story. The story was great. The Legend of Aku Sika, the play itself is a very, very light play. But I also really like what they did with it. I think George Quay hinted on radio that they have added some parts to make it a bit heavy, and I think one part they might have added that I am so sure of would be the palm wine scene, and I liked how that production went. It was so great, like the way the lady that was talking, Madam Auntie, is it Auntie Age? No, that's not Auntie Age. I forgot her name. She was quite problematic. She was stressing. Now, a deformity is a deformity. The king cannot marry a deformed person. I hate a deformed person. Only for her to get up and walk out. How are you in? No. That scene was so good. It was so hilarious. It was so well directed. I really loved that scene. I think that could be the extra hand they added, and maybe the Ottoman. I don't know. I really don't know. I've forgotten the script as it is, the book as it is. But I know they added some scenes, and that particular scene was one of my favorites. It was well executed to see. Say even the deformed, they don't like themselves. Some of them don't even like themselves. And so for the story, I think I can't even talk much. The way the play is a light play on its own. I didn't think it would carry such weight on the stage, but it did, which means that whoever worked on it did some good job there. So I'll give it a solid one for the story. Now let's talk about the acting. There was this smallish man. I think he was the chief linguist. Ono kasa, nana ba no mo bochi nana otutumpon odo. Hey, the rhyme scheme the guy was doing on the stage, like it's not a joke. The rhyming, the bars the guy was doing, the flow. See, I'm excited. When I'm excited, I can't hide it. When I'm unhappy too, I can't hide it. That is how I am. I'm there or there. I'm not in the middle. So my excitement shows how excited I was about the production. This guy's acting was perfect. The dwarf, their acting was quite exciting to see. I think it was Aku Sika's acting that was a bit dull for me. You know when it comes to, so this particular lady, I think this is also her debut stage production. When it comes to stage, everything is a bit more elaborate and bold and exaggerated than on screen. I know she has had a good run on screen with Dede and Co, but on stage, everything is a bit loud, a bit bigger. Everything is bigger than life, basically. Just so the last person at the end they can see the expression. I think that is what she didn't get with this one. I think she transferred the screen simple acting to stage. Stage is not like that. You see the King's sister, everything about her was loud, it was huge, it was big. That is how stage works. But she too, she could have been humble. Yes, her character is meant to be humble, but I think she was a bit too dull. She could be humble and still have her expressions being loud. So it was just the Aku Sika acting that I think when she's on stage, if she gets on stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, she will get how stage works. The same way happens when a stage actor comes on screen. They have to tone it down a bit, but acting, you have to amplify it a bit. And then the acting, when it comes to, as I said, the narrators, the Andrew Tango, the way they went with it, their movement, oh Jesus, it was good. It was great. The chief, the king, that was the long when he was dancing, the dance, oh my goodness. Another someone paid the sub chiefs, their conversation. I like that scene as well. And the ones that took me out, the ones that I love that I can't breathe about, are the Abrafos and the dancers. Oh Jesus. What a play. Nah. Next week, Mesa Kobio. Mesa Kobio. That everybody ticket, Mesa Kobio. Nah, it was good. 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 And then let me just give it a solid one over there. So the acting was a solid one. And now let's come to the directing. Naa Shorkor, the way she added the screen touch of it, the special effects, how she directed that Bradford, this is a huge production with huge numbers, huge dancers, huge crowd, huge market scene, the market scene, the choreography of the dancers, the choreography of the Bradford, the choreography of the Deba scene, the coordination of and the choreography of the spirit world where the Tradian point or the choreography of the narrators, the Tango, the way they were moving their legs, the way they were rolling. Jesus. Hey, Naa Shorkor, you do don't let anybody lie you. I've seen productions in my lifetime. In fact, I have worked in the National Drama Company, Big Roman Attachment Service. You do why are you yelling now? You've done it. This production was done, and it was done with directing purposes. They executed. You wouldn't think this is a first production as well. You wouldn't think at all. And the way the people were coming from the crowd, from the back, it added something. it really added something to the play. So the directing there, a solid one, like main Jim friend is a solid one. Now here is my personal bias, and my personal bias too is going to weigh a one or a half or a zero. Now my personal bias, I think theater, there's something per when I went to University of Ghana, something that was done concurrently with theater that sought to project the characters on stage, the crew members and all. That was brochures, and I keep saying that if there's no brochure, we do not see the people that do the work. It's a big production, which is why when it comes to movies, they make an extra effort to put down the names of everybody that did something in the production at the end for people to see and get their shine. Now I know that with the large numbers that they are expecting, it will be difficult to print out brochures. That's an extra cost they can't add. But there is an easy way that I've seen it being done, and I think people can inculcate into their production, especially for this one. QR codes. You can actually upload a list or a website, a short website that has the brochure, and then a QR code. You see where you were projecting the image of Aku Sika on the screens at the sides of the National Theatre. Just put that QR code there. We that we are sitting in the auditorium will just scan, and it will just take us to the brochure to go and see the names of the characters. Because as I'm sitting here, you realize I didn't really mention any character name because I don't have it. So it would have been good if I had it. In as much as I'm free to judge, and the judge has given me, I am afraid to read somebody's review before mine, because I'm afraid it will directly influence what I will say, and I want mine to be as genuine as I can. So I haven't read it. But if I had a brochure, I would actually be giving the big ups to who big ups deserves, or who deserves the big ups. So that thing can be done. It's easily done. Or I know Image Bureau or April Communication, they have an Instagram account. They can have the Instagram account and then pin the names of the cast and the crew, and then now that account name, maybe Image Bureau account or April Communication. You can pick the QR code and then put it on the screen. So the audience there, when they scan it, it takes them direct to your Instagram page, where you encourage them to follow and then check out the list. So imagine a number of people in the auditorium that will follow you on your Instagram page because they simply scanned to look for the brochure list and then went on your Instagram page. This is simple, it can be done. So please, let's add it, because I think it takes a lot away from the people that put in their work when people leave and there's nothing to show that the name of the person that did this is that. So basically that has been my bias, but I think when it comes to the choreography, the acting and the directing of this particular thing, it was an excellent job. So because of the brochure that to me wasn't there and it takes something away, I think I will give it a solid half over there. So I'm going to calculate this. So the water scene or the set had a solid one, and then the makeup had another one. Of course, there was a half with the sound, and then a half with the light, and then a solid one with a special effect, and another solid half with the audience appeal. There was a story had one, and the acting also had a strong one, the directing had a strong one, and then the brochure issue or my personal bias had a half. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So Aku Sika rates a solid 8 out of 10. That is the first show, which is the 1st and the 2nd June, has had a solid 8 out of 10. This is a good work done for a director whose first job, this is her first job, is too much. She has done it. She has really done it. So please go and see it, this next one. You should definitely go and see it. You would love and you really enjoy it. So this is Wednesday Theatre. Subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and if there's anything you have to do it now. Haslucha.